which is why I talk about Facebook marketing, because you're just marketing. Your risk can be as low as $150 per month. Okay, your marketing, you find one. Okay, part 4 here. This is getting a lot more fun, right? All right, good. I get the idea of subject twos and things like that. Subject to is a viable exit strategy as well too, if you know what you're doing, okay? But you have to pay attention to when people throw numbers at you, okay? There was a number in some part of this training that said, I know somebody who has done 10,000 subject to deals and only got a call back in 10 of them, okay? What you need to remember is that that's statistics. That's basically probabilities you have to be concerned about, right? That 10 could be your first 10. One of those 10 could be your first deal, and it will put a very, very bad taste in your mouth, and then you will turn around and claim it doesn't work, okay? So you want to be careful when people are throwing strategies at you or throw a number at you. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying be careful, okay? If there was a 10 at all out of 10,000, right, that got a due on clause, due on sale clause exercised, okay, basically when somebody do a subject to, the bank has the right, they don't always exercise it, they have the right to say, give us all of the $215,000 right now, right? If that's a possibility, it's a possibility, okay? And that possibility can be your first deal, and that will create a lot of headache for you. So keep it clean, keep it safe. Wholesaling as it stands, conventional means you put a house under contract, no risk on your part outside of the money you're using to market, which is why I talk about Facebook marketing, because you're just marketing. Your risk can be as low as $150 per month. Okay, your marketing, you find one deal, your upside is literally through the roof. Okay, and somebody that will basically do 10,000 subject to deals, and 10 of course feels like that's a good average, right? But if that 10 ends up being your first 10, that's a very bad one. So let's get into today's training. Okay, $15,000. But remember, when you're paying down the $215,000, yes, you could be building equity over time like that if that's what you love to do. That's just not my cup of tea, okay? And for most people that I know, they rather not deal with that kind of headache too, okay? But there are people that do, okay? So, subject to, if it makes sense, yes, okay. But most people that are trying, most newbies trying to jump into subject twos are people that are trying to avoid learning how to market. Well, if you are going to sell this subject to a lease option, then basically you have to learn how to market. You have to learn how to market for people that need rent to own, people with bad credit that want to purchase a home, so they're looking to rent to own. Does that make sense? Let's keep going here. Uh, All right, so problem solving, make sure there's a problem before you're trying to solve it. This is not a motivated seller. That's what I think, okay? How do you find the property? She says Facebook ad. I love Facebook ads, okay? So if you want to learn how to Facebook ad, make sure you download my book, Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, okay? All right, so somebody said, now, how much is that costing you? This is a good point she's making here. She says, it varies. I set mine at $10 per day and running for 30 days. Okay, so you could set yours at $5 per day, anything for $5 to $20 per day. You could do that. Okay, or depending on how strong you are. If you're gonna do Facebook ads, make sure you have at least I suggest having $300 to $1,000 budget per month. Okay, because if you had 30 plus 30 days, that's 300. Okay, so if you have $1,000, you can spend up to $30 per day. Okay, it just means that much exposure, and the most legal way to market this business now, and the cheapest way, by the way, cheapest and most, it positions you for consistency. You don't have to worry about bandit signs coming down. You don't have to worry about letters not reaching the right hands. You don't have to worry about driving for dollars and burning your car up, wasting time on the streets. And there's a lot of stuff you don't have to worry about, or you don't have to cold call people. People basically reach out to you because your message makes sense to them. They are motivated. They need to get rid of it. Some people will reach out to you, like she said, and they're not really truly motivated. You need to ask the right questions. You need to learn how to negotiate and find out what they can do. Okay. So this can pass for subject to, But you have to make sure that that's the business you're in. That's all I'm saying, and make sure you that the rental in that area justifies the how much it costs to maintain or to service that loan. Okay, the $215,000 loan. All right. All right. So this person's David says the numbers have to make sense depending on what the mortgage rate. So this guy is making sense already. Depending on what the mortgage rate is, you can do a subject to a lease with option to buy. That's only if they're willing to give you time. There you go. If they're not motivated, like I'm sensing, they're not willing to give you time. Okay, that's if they're willing to give you time. If they're not giving you the price to move it quickly, they're not giving you a price to move it quickly. They're probably not gonna give you time. Okay, because again, they are not motivated from what I'm seeing. Usually, okay, they could be truly motivated. They just their back is against the wall, and that's the only thing that can work. Or they're willing to let the house go to foreclosure. Okay, remember, if there's no problem, you can't solve a problem. Okay, on a subject to deal, either it will be a rental property for your passive income, or you will put it as a rent to own. Okay, and collect the difference. In either case, it still would take time. There you go. For the owner to get cashed out. That's true. All right. So yeah, the cash is not going to come from anywhere right now. That's the really key thing there. The problem with this deal is that they're asking for too much upfront. Okay. And there's no reason that money is not going to come from anywhere because there's nothing to justify it. There's nothing to justify giving that money to them. That money, who's going to come up with that money? That money has to come from somebody. Who is going to come up with that money? The $30,000 down payment? Good luck with getting that $30,000 down payment. Usually, people with bad credit don't have that kind of money saved either. Okay, just FYI, they don't have that. Okay, and people with that kind of money laying around, they usually have good credit. They can walk into a bank and do regular conventional deals. Okay, all right. So let's see. Crazy here in LA, that's not even close to being any type of deal. Uh, people. I will always people that say it here in their own local area are usually talking from lack of experience. That's not necessarily true. Um, People always claim in their local area it doesn't work. No, it could work, but the only reason why it won't work is because the seller is not motivated. Okay, if they're willing to walk with nothing and maybe collect 20 later after you actually sell the property to owner, that's doable. That's absolutely doable. Okay, all right. So let's here. Let's see. I don't think that's a deal. Maybe lease option. Well, there's always a way to structure a deal. That's not true. Okay, this is what gurus will say. There's always a way to structure a deal. That's if there is a deal. So if there's no deal, you can't structure the deal. Okay, if there's no problem, you can't solve the problem. There's no problem to solve. All right, so she wants to post more soon. I'm waiting for what she's posting. We'll keep going here. I think what she's talking about is really lease option and subject to, and there's just not enough to justify that that's even doable, based on my experience with time. Okay, you could definitely do a lease purchase and get someone else in there, but not a wholesale, in my opinion. That's true. All right. But it could be a wholesale if it's short sale, so that's not necessarily true. If it's a short sale, then it's still a wholesale. You can still wholesale the deal. Okay. It's really not a deal. 30 days is not enough time unless you personally give that seller 20K. Exactly. So if you give this seller 20K cash out of your pocket, how is that justifiable? That make no sense. Okay. This is the problem right here. This $20,000 cash. You can't justify giving the seller that because the seller don't even have that much equity. Okay, they think they do. If a seller says the property is worth 265, the property is probably worth 200. Sometimes, not all the time. Okay, sometimes they really know what it's worth, but I'm just saying, I'm not gonna go with what they say. Okay, but we're gonna assume that 265 is true. Asking 240 from 265, they need to list that house on the market. They got 30 days. They can put a listing contract of 30 days together. If the market says the property is not worth that, it's not worth that. Now, if you want to get creative and do a deal here, sure, but somebody has to come up. Remember, somebody has to come up with this 20K cash. How are you going to justify the investment of this money for what? It would be purely speculation, and that's a terrible way of of wasting money. Okay, there are better ways of wasting money actually, not to say investing money. Okay. All right. So she's convinced there's a deal here. She will explain later. We'll keep looking. Okay. Somebody says subject to. Yes, subject to is the only thing we can think of. But I think short sale. Nobody is talking short sales. Okay. Short sale will allow you to not be responsible in other than responsible for. And short sale, well, it's not possible when there's 20K. Okay, so everybody's clear that she's talking about subject to. That's what she's trying to say. But again, who's gonna come up with 20K? There are different ways to approach a deal like this. I posted this to get people thinking because you will get calls that may not benefit as a wholesale deal for say. But as a wholesaler, you are the problem solver, and that's just what you will position yourself to do. Is this property in Dallas? Say yes, sir. It's in Dallas. Uh, so he says PM sent. All right, so somebody is gonna do something with it. Somebody's gonna come up with 20K. It could make sense to them. They could be in that neighborhood and they know what to do with that kind of deal. They may have rent to own clients ready to go. Again, networking. This is why networking can be good because some other people may have deals to go like this. So somebody said no deal. According to your numbers, there's 25K in equity, which means nothing to me. And they want 20K or pretty much all their equity. Exactly. Meaning you're going to pay 20K upfront and full retail. There you go. If they will sell sub to and walk away, there you go. And maybe 5K and sub to. Yes, 5K and sub to possibly. There you go. Okay. Otherwise, this is a terrible, terrible deal. That's what I think. I mean, this guy Daniel has given in this very short excerpt right here, or description, or paragraph right here. He's given all the possibilities. Subject to 5K is creative. That's creative enough. Subject to walk away from if you're truly motivated is creative. 5K and 15K if we do sell the property later, if there's enough, you could put a contract like that together. If that's what you do, you should be able to put a creative contract like that together. But upfront, 20K, that's a terrible deal. That's basically them asking for their whole equity. Okay. So she insists not necessarily you have to think outside of the box. Yeah. We know what outside of the box is. We've all read Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Secret of a Millionaire Mind. Yes, we have to think outside the box, but I think wholesaling, as a definition in its first place, is already outside of the box. And you can outside of the box yourself into serious problems. Okay, so there's balance in life in everything. The sweet spot is always in between. This is extreme, basically. Um, just this is a motivated seller. She is convinced it's a motivated seller. So you find a solution to their problem. There is no problem. Okay, there's no problem. So there is no solution either way. Goal to convert any lead you get into profit. Yeah, good luck with that. Daniel says, I did give a solution, but please feel free to share your own outside the box solution if you really have one. You know, Christian Ramirez agree with Daniel. He's agreeing. Sometimes the word wholesaling gets stretched out into a far-fetched paradigm. There you go. That's the getting to the extreme. Every coach creates these ideas of problem solving that never really is the best interest of the client. There you go. If you're gonna screw the client or the seller up, you're screwing yourself up. Okay, you gotta be careful with these things. Okay. Trust me, there's enough money in keeping this as straightforward. I just showed you my calculator. I throw this. I can if I make 20 offers like this, something will hit. Okay, if you have the resources in place and you make 20 offers like this, something will hit. Okay, so let's keep going. Um, Asked to take over the loan doesn't seem much of a wholesale deal unless they truly are distressed. There you go. All right. He says agreed. Offer to take over the loan as is with little or zero down. Yep. Bang bang. No money. They're asking for money up front. Yeah, not doable. All right, that was me. That's the only comment I gave here. If they're truly distressed and motivated, they would not be asking for 20K. They would want to walk away free. All right, so that's my opinion. Okay, that's my opinion of what motivation means. They just need to get rid of the property. Okay, that's my level of motivations varies, of course, but that's the level where I like to operate. And then I can offer $2,000 so you can move easily. Okay, the ball is in my court. I need to be in control. Okay, and the attraction level is high on their end for the solution I bring to the table. When there's no true problem, then you're losing the game already. Okay, you're basically begging them, and they're like, "Oh, you can call me anytime as long as you find a solution." There's a lot of people that will call you like that. Uh, that's when she says, "Oh, we gotta turn every lead to money." Well, every lead to me converts to money because when I average out the cost of marketing and how much I make, it still leads to money for me. Okay, so basically, I've never lost money on marketing because I average everything out. I've never lost money on a single lead, even if I turn down to work with that lead. Does that make sense? Because everything averages out. Again, it depends on how you word it and how you do your math, okay? But definitely you don't want to be wasting your time on stuff you don't enjoy doing. That's the bottom line, okay? Subject to and 20K cash at closing. Who's coming up with that money? Then turn around and get someone in. Turn around and get someone in, or with the lease option, or wrap the note to a new buyer. I'd love this for cash flow. Cash flow how? Without knowing the numbers, without knowing how much the $215,000 is gonna cost you on an ongoing basis. That's a missing information. You know, so of course, admire loves what it sounds all good on paper, but in real life, in this business, sometimes deals will fall through, and you want to cry, but you wouldn't because you're marketing. Okay, that's still full retail and needs to be within 30 days. Uh, Lara Johnson Kimbrough, Daniel Madero, it's all about terms. You can still generate good cash flow with this deal. Sell to an owner occupant. Yes, it's all about terms, okay? But terms on what? Who's gonna come up with the money? You need someone to come up with the money at least. Okay, when we sell no money down, no money down in this game, right? Somebody still has to come up with the money. And the person that's coming up with the money they will ask you, where how am I gonna, what is the reward for me putting this money down? Okay? So sell to an owner occupant with 10% down, recover cash. So 10% down of 265 will be $26,000. Okay. Recover your cash investment. Okay. Finance full retail purchase at 9% interest, and you will have cash flow for 30 years with no landlord responsibility, with zero money in the deal. It's like printing your own money but legal. Yeah. Yeah, everybody is always printing legal money. I get it. But it's possible. What you say is possible. But I'm giving you all the spec terms that's possible. Okay, basically, that's my job here. Okay, so Lara Johnson, I understand the strategy, but committing 20K to close within 30 days, paying full retail. That's really the key here. To hopefully get a tenant buyer with the 20K, and hopefully that's speculation, right? That's a bad marketing strategy. Hope, right? Bad business and marketing strategy, right? And maybe have some monthly cash flow is a big risk. Well, that's not even a risk. That's gambling. It's a big risk and potential lawsuit not worth risking if you cannot perform. There you go. He's getting it. Okay, some people will call them scare money don't make money. Okay, I get that too. Scare money don't make money. Okay, some people will say that, but remember that there are millions of people that can call Warren Buffett scare money. Okay, they call him scare money. Okay, it's possible. Who is buying the house or responsible for the original mortgage? Sorry for my ignorance. I'm still learning. Yeah. Then you'd have to have the cash and reserves to do it. Exactly. Why would I want to put $20,000? Wholesaling is great money, but it's active income. It's one exit strategy. If you have some money set aside. Okay, so that's today's part of the series. Make sure you download the book, smartrealestateWholesaling.com. SmartrealestateWholesaling.com. You can see the link on the screen. Make sure you download the book and take advantage of the information in the book. It's absolutely for free, and make sure you stay plugged in on this, because this is getting better and better as you get through. Make sure you don't miss any part of this series, and hopefully you've been enlightened and educated, and I'll see you on the next one, and peace.